Welcome to the Home Goals Podcast. This podcast contains themes of an adult nature, therefore it's suitable for anyone over the age of 18. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, so welcome to this Home Goals Podcast. Today, we're casting an eye on Club Doncaster Titans. So I'm joined by three gentlemen today who are going to talk about their links and experience with Titans. If you've not met me before, my name is Scott Copeland. I'm the Health and Wellbeing Officer at Club Doncaster Foundation. And I'm going to introduce the gentlemen that we've got today. So starting with Mr. Darren Warner. So Daz, welcome.
Thank you, welcome.
If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and why have we got you on this call to do with Club Doncaster Titans?
Well, obviously, you've got me on this call because I founded Doncaster Titans back in 2014, which we started with 8 players. Just because of my son's got autism, we were looking for football clubs for him and couldn't find anything that suited him or suited my requirements. So I just thought, I'll tell you what, I'll put me through my level 1 and I'll go and do one and show everybody how it's done. And since then, I haven't looked back.
No. And we'll go on to speak a little bit about exactly what is under that umbrella of Club Doncaster Titans. But Andrew, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, mate?
Yeah, I play for Doncaster Titans. I'm relatively new to the side, so to speak. I know some of the lads have been there from the beginning. I work for Rotherham United Community Sports Trust and found out about the ability counts through them. Unfortunately, their team folded, and I'd heard a lot of good things about Darren and what he was doing with the Titans. A lot of our players came through, and I followed suit, and I've never looked back. Really enjoy it. The setup's fantastic. The training sessions are really good. Never disappoints, and always looks after us all, like a father figure to us all.
Brilliant. Well, I think this is the first time we've met Andrew, so it's nice to meet you. And last but not least, Adam. Welcome, Adam. Just tell us a bit about yourself.
Thanks for having me. I'm Adam. I'm a health and wellbeing facilitator at Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber NHS Trust. I work across mental health rehab wards in Doncaster, and we've been taking patients along to Darren's sessions since it started in 2014. Took a lot of lads over the years, and they've all really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, fellas. So I think we'll start, Darren. And I'm saying Darren because I think you'll have the best idea of this. Club Doncaster Titans, it is, how would you describe it? An ability?
It's an ability counts club, but we're also inclusive. So basically, we are designed around players with disabilities or mental health, but we do allow players of low ability to come and join us. And then obviously work on their ability and then try and signpost them to other clubs that they may feel that would suit them. And then what we try and do then is that they attend both ours and theirs till they get the confidence just to go back into the mainstream game. So we do support them throughout.
Yeah. And what sort of age groups and things is this offered to, Darren?
Well, we start with our 5 to 11 group, and then we go we have a 5 to 11 group, then a 12 to 16 group, and then an open age group. So we have players from the age of 5. I think our oldest one's 55 or 56 as we speak today.
Yeah, brilliant. So something for everyone, and male and female participants.
Yeah. We, like I say, we cater for everybody. We do play mixed football because its ability counts, and there's not very many girls playing the game in the disability football level. They do allow mixed football in the adult league.
Yeah, awesome. And as you said, there's the opportunity for those that want to play in leagues and play against clubs from other areas, Sheffield, Rotherham. I'm sure even further afield, we'll go on and speak about your annual tournament where you get a lot of teams come and play. But likewise, there is a lot of sessions where people can just come just for the love of the game and for the social element as well, isn't there?
Yeah, well, every session's aimed at the social element. The competition side of it is for those who want to take part in those. So you can come along and just join in the sessions, or you can sign up and then play in the games and buy the kit and stuff and go on and play competitions. Because this year we was meant to go over to Belfast. I think it would have been this week or last week. We were meant to shoot over to Belfast for a 2-day tournament, but obviously the coronavirus has put a stop to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's brilliant. And like I say, you mentioned about the kit. I think that's one thing that stands out with Titans. They're definitely all kitted out with latest Donny gear with your South Yorkshire or Special Olympics kind of badge and everything on. So I mean, you will spend a fortune in club shop, you guys, but you definitely look the part, and it gives that sense of belonging as well, doesn't it? Having a kit as part of a team. Yeah, I mean, it is fantastic. So, Andrew, coming on to you, like I said, because I don't think we've met before, you mentioned a little bit about how you kind of become aware of Titans. Tell us a little bit about the sessions that you go to and the input that kind of, well, what you kind of put in and what you get out of those sessions, if you don't mind.
Last season, I think we had three sessions a week. So we've got one on a Tuesday evening, one on a Thursday evening, I believe it was, and then one Saturday dinner time. And each session, we tend to do the 2-hour sessions. We tend to work on like positional awareness or tactics that are going to be useful in the game. We never stood still. It's never boring. It's always done in a way that, which I really like, is the fact that you're doing this training, and even as an adult, you're aware of what's going off, but the way that Daz does it, it's fun. So it seems to just go so quickly. And even though you're learning something, it's still in like a game aspect.
Yeah.
So you don't realise actually that it's like when you have a good teacher at school and they hide in the lesson the work that you're actually doing. And you come out, you don't realise but you do take it on board. And when we go into the games on the Sundays, and you've obviously learning all these passing things, we were quite unfortunate, I think, last season, to be fair. We know what we're doing, and I think everybody in the team's really buzzing now, especially with Corona setting in. Just to get back to the game and show what we've learned. We've come on a lot. In the time I've been there, like the development of the players has been really good.
Yeah. So, Andrew, you just mentioned Corona. I think Daz told me you've been having quite an important role, haven't you, throughout the pandemic in keeping people together and keeping that social element going. So, tell us a bit about how that come about and kind of some of the success stories you've seen from it.
Daz set up the group that we have, which we all keep in touch with each other. And what we've been doing is like daily challenges and things. And it got me sort of thinking and I put it to Daz about doing a weekly quiz as something to look forward to. Myself that struggled with mental health issues quite badly over recent years, it really gave me something to do as well. And the sense, the rewarding sense of it, giving something back to the club, knowing that it's helping other people, giving everybody something to look forward to. It also gives us a chance to socialise, even though it's only through Zoom like we're doing now. It's been really effective, everybody getting together, and it's just gone on. I think we're into week 9 now of the quizzes this Friday, so I've really enjoyed doing it, to be fair.
No, that's brilliant, because I mean, from the projects that I'm involved with, I don't think any of us maybe thought when this first came around that it'd go on for so long before we could get back to delivering football sessions and other things. And I think maintaining that contact with people, obviously a lot of the people that attend the sessions have got disabilities or have got mental health issues, and regular contact with those and checking in. And I'm sure, Darren, you'll recognise signs in people that maybe the mental health is not where it should be, and obviously then you can maybe seek support for them individuals. So just something like a quiz can be brilliant for that. If someone's there every week and then they miss a week, you might think, oh, that's not like them. Follow them up, and it might be nothing, but it could just be something that that you've picked up on and sort of support them to get the help that they need. So yeah, Andrew, brilliant, and again, doing that on a voluntary basis. Daz is a very busy man with this, and I'm sure help help like that is massively appreciated. I'm going to go on to Adam. Adam, you mentioned about your professional role and the kind of people that you support through work. What are there any sessions in particular that those guys have accessed, and have you got any kind of feedback or success stories? Obviously, we haven't mentioned any names from people attending those sessions.
Yeah, the main one we attend is a Friday session, which is sort of aimed at people with mental health troubles or people that are in mental health units, which is called Goal in Mind. Yeah, like I said, we've been going to that since 2014. We've had a few success stories. I mean, my job is about pushing people's physical activity levels up. Guys with mental health issues sometimes are a bit sedentary, especially if they're in a unit. It can be hard to motivate these guys. And we've had guys that obviously love football. So a football session in the community is a real bonus because it gets them out of the unit and it's something different. And the session that Daz puts on with the coaches coming in, other people coming in from other units, it creates a real good social network for these guys. Various levels as well. We've had guys that can come and run around and play a real good level of football, real intense session, and other guys that just come, they'll maybe only do the coaching part and then sit out the game, or they'll maybe only play the game. And like I say, it's really good for just upping these guys' activity levels and building confidence as well, which I think sometimes is underestimated in the football. Just, I mean, we haven't mentioned any names. I can think of one guy that came and didn't even go near a ball. And then by the end of his time, he was scoring goals. Don't get me wrong, he was a brilliant footballer, but he built that confidence into actually contributing into games. Like Daz said earlier, the social part of it, being part of the team, and I think you touched on it. Some of these guys, because of the troubles they've had, they could have been in units years. And we've had some good footballers, but they've never had the chance to play as part of the team because they've been in units. They've been taken sort of out of society, if you like. So being part of the team and being able to display their skills, yeah, it's really good for them. And the social network it builds for them afterwards as well. I mean, what I like about Darren's group is it's a community group, so it's not something that we put on as a hospital or as an NHS trust. It's something done with very close links to Club Doncaster, and they can keep coming to it after they've left us. And like you touched on before, with Darren being able to see people and keep an eye on their mental health, it's nice for us to see people sort of leave our unit, go on and live their life, and then still keep in touch with him, still be able to, do you know what I mean, have that relationship with him as they come to sessions.
That's one thing, Adam, sorry to cut you off, but that bridge between sort of like mental health care as such and the community, if you say people can be in those units for years, and if that's their life and then they're going off to start a totally new life as such, and I know obviously you guys don't kind of say, right, off you go, you'll put things in place, but the community session and the friendships that they've built up at that session, again, from my personal experience, not someone who, and again, not mentioning any names, but I've witnessed that firsthand, someone coming from a secure, semi-secure unit, attending the Friday sessions, moving on into the community and accessing more of the Titans sessions, accessing social opportunities with people that they've met through those sessions. And that must really sort of help to bridge that transition between the two. Lost my train of thought. Develop a wider sort of support network for people. So that is fantastic. The social element that you spoke about, obviously on the Friday sessions, we added the social cafe element on once a month. The last time, Darren, I think that we managed to get together, we didn't actually do any football because it was raining cats and dogs. But
I don't think anybody turned up either, so we went and just saw the social cafe ourselves.
Yeah, we had a few diehards turn up, didn't we? But yeah, I think we just went and played a bit of Clask, a bit of sort of board game sort of thing. But again, they weren't put in to take anything away from the football. But in that situation, instead of people missing a couple of weeks, if they can come down, you think, you know what, we're not going to get much football today. It's absolutely belting it down. Let's go in, have a cuppa, do a quiz, promote that social element, and build that team spirit so that then people want to come back and still access the sessions. Like I say, I only see a small part of what goes on at Titans, but I think that's massive for it, and I think that's important for anything that you're building up. It's not the quality of coaching could be absolutely fantastic, but if people don't feel at home and feel supported and part of something, then that's only really one part of it. So it all contributes massively. We have obviously the one-off events, things like the Christmas dinner, a good opportunity to do that as well, and a good opportunity for us to kind of give something back to you lot as well that have stood out on the pitches in that pouring rain week in, week out, while I'm kind of sat in the office. So yeah, great things like that, and hopefully before too long we can get back and start to get those sessions back, and a lot of your other sessions, Daz. I'm sure you're getting hounded with messages, aren't you?
Yeah, well, what we've done, because of the restrictions and everything, we have been holding off, because we deal with a more vulnerable, more susceptible people to the virus. We do try and hold off as long as possible. I think this weekend we are actually launching every team back on the Saturday with the social distancing in place, because over the last month of June, what I've been doing with like Andrew's team is just trialing some social distancing practices out, so that we can then move them along the whole club to make it safe. So we should launch back this weekend. We are obviously just using a town field at the moment because obviously the facilities are shut around us.
Yeah.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll try and get everybody back up and running as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a challenge, but it's it is that risk management in it, because as we were saying, that physical and mental health of not doing the sessions and obviously managing the spread of the disease. We've got to put everything together, put those policies and procedures in place, and hopefully get back to some kind of normality. So hopefully, fingers crossed for you that goes all right. And
well, what we've done, Scott, obviously to give people peace of mind, we've just bought some contactless thermometers so we can check temperatures on arrival. We've had them sign consent forms, and the risk, we've all sent out risk assessments and stuff like that, so they know that we've got them at our best interest,
Yeah,
to give them peace of mind.
But I want to go on now, Darren, to talk. We spoke about the local leagues that you're playing. I want to talk about the annual tournament that that you host, which again I'm guessing is not going to be going ahead this year. But
I'm holding off, Scott. Do you know why? I'm just watching the news and I'm thinking it's end of August. You never know.
No.
You know what I mean? I can get it all organised in a week.
Yeah. But we've got some footage that we can pop in here. But last year, how many were 80-something teams, Darren?
About 80-something, yeah.
Yeah, 80-something teams, and you might know how many players.
Well, there's normally about 8 players per team. So if you work that out, what is it?
640, isn't it?
Yeah,
640
players. The sun was beaming hot. I think we run out of water. I think we drained all Club Doncaster's facilities of water. I don't think there were much more we could have done, to be honest.
No, but that's fantastic. And you had some teams travelling from the reputation of Titans. You had some teams travelling from quite far afield, didn't you, to access that tournament?
Well, we have some teams from Wales quite regular, but this year we had 3 or 4 teams from Jersey, which obviously they wanted to fetch their teams over to the UK, and they heard that our tournament was one of the biggest and well represented tournaments. With the facilities that we have at the academy, it's one of the best tournaments in UK, in my opinion.
Yeah, brill. Brill. Daz, I'll come to you again. If anyone were watching this and they were thinking, "Oh, that sounds interesting. That could be suitable for my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister, my mum, my dad, whoever it might be," first of all, we spoke about it is literally inclusive, but just to kind of make it really sort of black and white, who is welcome at these sessions, who would benefit from them, and if anyone wanted to kind of speak to you about coming and looking at the sessions, obviously when they get back in the in full swing, how would they go about doing that?
Well, basically, the sessions are open to absolutely anybody. Whether you think that you can't play football or you don't think there's a team out there for you, we're the one that can help you either play in a team or be that team. I mean, to find out more about us, we have our own website, clubdoncastertitans.com. That's the best way to find any contacts about the club. If you go onto the training tab, that tells you all about every session that we do. The Down syndrome one, the mental health specific one, the junior ones, the open age ones, advanced groups, lower level groups. You know, it caters for absolutely anybody.
Yeah, brilliant. Can't get clearer than that, Daz. I think we got the message across. Because I mean, I would hate to think that anyone sat watching this or anyone seeking those opportunities or themselves or for someone that they know is a bit reluctant, thinking, well, I don't know if it's for them. It literally is, because it's not about you as volunteers and as staff members promoting an inclusive session. That's got to be throughout everything, hasn't it? And I know from my involvement with the Friday sessions, as Adam was saying earlier, some of the participants are absolutely fantastic footballers, super fit. Some of them just enjoy maybe walking around, getting the odd touch on the ball, having a shot at goal. And if they score a goal, you're probably never going to hear the end of it. But it's not like someone will not pass to someone else because they know they might not get it back, or I don't know, someone will mourn if someone loses the ball. That inclusivity is ingrained in every session and in every participant. And I think as a promotion tool, to get that across to someone who's maybe they might have had other clubs negative experiences, Darren, and I'm sure that some of the players that you've got have had that when they've been to
we have a lot. We have a lot of the juniors come across from mainstream teams who've probably got autism, who's probably struggled with the coaches' speed of how they're telling them stuff and how they're getting them to teach them stuff. And they come across, and then we've been the godsend that's been there, that just lets them we just allow the child to come into the session at their own speed, learn at their own levels. There's no pressure on picking up what you're doing that day. You know, and then you find that works better for them, and then you end up with a better footballer out of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to nearly interrupt you then, Daz. I just wanted to add on that's one thing I really like about the sessions, is that I think sometimes with football, especially mainstream football, like Sunday League and things, there's almost a pressure with that. So like a pressure to perform. Whereas at Titans, you literally don't have that. It's like such a family-based atmosphere. Everybody has a laugh, everybody gets on, and if you pass ball to someone, they make a mistake, it's just forgot about. Everybody appreciates that we're all there for the common goal, to enjoy ourselves. I think Daz does a really good job actually, like instilling that in everybody. And one thing that I noticed from when I first arrived is that like you really do act like one big family. That's one thing that we always said to each other, like, don't worry about it. If you make a mistake, we're just one big family. Everybody's got it.
That's it.
Yeah. And Darren, we're not the only person who sings the praises of the Titans and of yourself. You have been recognised a couple of times with some awards. I'm sure you knew this would come up at some point. So, I don't know if it was your first award, but the FA South Yorkshire or Sheffield and Hallamshire County FA Grassroots Heroes Award. What were they? Volunteer of the Year?
It was the Volunteer of the Year award, which was one of the first ones I'd got. I think also in that same year, I got one from the foundation for exactly the same, being the Volunteer of the Year award. And then since then, I've won the BBC Unsung Hero Award, which is the biggest one yet, I believe.
Yeah. And that got you a trip to Edinburgh, Glasgow.
Aberdeen it was.
Oh, Aberdeen. I knew it was north of the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked like a good do anyway.
It was a good do. To be honest with you, the Sports Personality of the Year, I can understand why sports stars get the depression that they get, because you're the be all and end all for somebody when they need you. But then when you're finished, they just chuck you to one side and they move on and forget all about you. Do you know what I mean? I can understand where it comes from, the depression side of that. Because on the Monday after the Sunday, it was like, oh, is that it then? All right.
But Volunteer of the Year, Darren, how, and I know this is probably how long is a piece of string, but how many hours a week do you put into Titan related work?
I put 24 hours a day, 7 days a week into Titans. Even in my day job, I'm still doing Titans related stuff, which my employer won't be happy to hear, I suppose.
Edit that bit out.
Yeah, your employer can't crush your passion, Daz.
No, to be honest with you, my employer is one of our sponsors. He knows my passion. They're very proud of me, of what I've achieved, from where I've come from to where I am today, and how I put the football, what I've done with the football club. They're all, my family, my sponsors and everybody are all proud of what we offer. So I can't see them being upset anywhere.
No. And you mentioned sponsors. I'm going to ask you, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face with running something as big and as diverse as Titans? Now, I would imagine that funding and financial income is one of the challenges, and I know you probably spend quite a bit of your time looking at little pots of funding for different groups and things. But is that something that you have struggled with, or is it something that?
Well, since day one, what I've tried to achieve with Titans is that if there was ever never any funding there, or there's no sponsors there to sponsor you, we would be self-sufficient. So basically, each session has its own cost. So we make sure that's covered, and we make sure that we cover enough costs to pay insurance, league registrations, affiliations. So basically, if it come to it, we would be able to sustain ourselves. So hopefully that makes it a long-term project rather than a short one. Yeah,
I think that is important, and I think again with the financial side, the players probably feel like they contribute. It's not a cost. They're contributing to something which is improving the longevity and giving more people the chance to play. So that's why it helps, doesn't it? I know we got the small pot of funding from the Every Player Counts for the Friday sessions, which helps and hopefully helps attract new people as well. But yeah, I think it's definitely something we could all do more with, a little bit more of money. But if there is anyone wanting to speak about sponsorship, even your kits and things, Daz, you got all new kits, don't you, sponsored, and things like that. The tournament be a great opportunity there. So get in contact. Daz has already given you contact details, and we'll pop them in the description as well. Adam, I want to come back to you. In your role, so increasing physical activity, I know you do a lot of gym-based stuff, cycling, and obviously football as well. Tell us a little bit about some of the other things that you do to support people's mental well-being, and the impact that physical activity has from a professional like yourself. What impact does regular physical activity have on someone's mental health?
The thing I always like about physical activity, and this came up in a psychology sort of teaching session we were having the other day, it was on about a skill set that they give our clients about owning something that you can master yourself. And it gives a real sense of worth if someone's gone in, especially with something like football, where, like I said, we've had a kid who's not even kicked a ball before. We're sort of scared of the ball, and then by the end of his time with us, he's knocking goals in. Now, he's had support through coaches, but ultimately, it's that guy that's turned up. He's turned up to the sessions. He's stuck at it, and it's that ownership, that own mastering of something yourself. And I think physical activity, gym work, cycling, it's something that if these guys are struggling with low mood, I mean, you stick with it week by week, and it improves every time. I mean, if you're running 10 yards one week, if you stick with it, next week you're going to be running 15. And it's just nice for people to see something that can improve, as well as all physical health benefits. I mean, obviously you've got your endorphins flowing after you've had a good game of football. The social side of it as well, like I was saying earlier, massively underestimated that these guys are part of the team. Some one-off events that we've been to with these guys would have been a massive anxiety-inducing sort of event. You know, when we've been to big football games, these tournaments that you're talking about. But because they're part of the team, because they've got this family around them, that's not hospital staff, it's just people sort of in the same boat as them, is massive for these guys.
The social cafe stuff that we spoke about, Adam, that one of the purposes that were supposed to serve, and I think we've not really had a run of enough to kind of see it happening, but the people who were kind of maybe anxious about coming in and throwing themselves straight into the football could come down, have a bit of an informal kind of chat, have a nosy, a cuppa and a bit of fruit or whatever, get to know a few other people, and then next time they might think, oh, do you know what, I'll actually get involved in football and start to see all those benefits as well.
It was probably fruit that scared them off, Scott.
No, it would probably mean whipping them at class or something.
And we've had a couple of guys like that you have to take real baby steps with. It's first week, it can be literally just bringing them to the session, like you say, meeting everyone, just watching the football. But it's one of those things, isn't it, football? When you're watching it, it's very easy to get dragged into it before you know what you're playing. So, we've had guys where we've had to take baby steps like that.
It says that as a participant as well, don't you, Adam?
Yeah. Speaking of watching football, Darren, as well, you're obviously, you mentioned that you sort of come under the Club Doncaster umbrella. What year were that in, after forming in 2014?
Well, we joined. I approached Club Doncaster for the use of the facilities in 2016, and after a few meetings with Marie and I think it was Tom Butterworth at the time, we then joined the Club Doncaster family in August of the 2016. So we had a launch tournament then to announce the partnership, and then obviously we've never looked back.
And you have things like match tickets that you can give out to participants for. What kind of things do you kind of give them out for?
At the moment, what we try and tend to do is ones that show a bit of loyalty, attending sessions, etc. We tend to reward all our volunteers with them. You know, the ones that's been coaching and stuff, and the ones that show us a bit of commitment that they're just as much as we are. I try and reward them because we can't pay them. So I try and take them to the games. So anybody really, if we're not using them, we then ask if anybody else wants to take them. So then, you know, just anybody who wants to go.
Yeah, and some of the other bits that we've done, I know, Adam, you've been on a few of them, when we've done the walk to the games and things like that. Which has been good opportunities to get people together, do a bit of physical activity, and also watch the match. And sometimes, even though the football may not be the most thrilling at times, not every game that I've been to has been thrilling, but you've definitely got that shared experience and something to speak about, and kind of when you get back to the unit and stuff, Adam, in your case, what about when that happened and so nearly scored? And it is a sport that can bring people together. Andrew, you did say that you worked at Rotherham, but you have got a Donny shirt on, so I'm guessing you're a Donny fan. You are a Donny fan.
Well, through Titans, yeah.
Yeah. As long as you're not a Rotherham fan, it's not too late to kick you out.
Well, to be fair, when they launched the thank you to the NHS shirt, I sort of like asked the first team to buy that shirt so that we could use it as a second strip if we needed. You know, if ever you get a shirt clash in the tournament, so like that.
Well, you get a shirt clash with that. It's got nearly every colour on it.
I'm on about the red and white one.
No, that'll turn a few heads when you turn up in that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a really good thing actually that Doncaster have done. There's not a great deal of clubs actually followed suit, and I think that's what sets them aside from other clubs. You know what I mean? I think it's a really good thing to do, showing support for NHS. They've done a lot for everybody in this country in recent times with what's been going on. So.
Well, Doncaster are a very community-based club as well, aren't they? So it does help a lot. That does help.
I was just about to say something on that. I mean, because we're Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber, we have guys from out of area, and you really notice the difference when we are sending guys back to Rotherham and Scunthorpe. They just haven't got sessions like this, the links with the club, the town clubs like you have, Daz. It really shows.
I think that is something that stands out. And for me, I've worked there now for coming up 4 years, and it's always been ingrained in the club. But my role now is like the Friday sessions, Adam, to even strengthen those bonds between medical professionals. Everyone knows the effects that physical activity and the social element can have on mental health. But sometimes it's difficult maybe to bridge that gap between the services and then the community services. So growing the support and trust in something like that, and having it as almost like what do they call it? I've lost it again. Oh, hang on.
Come back tomorrow.
I'm gonna have to edit this bit out. I know. Oh, social prescribing, that's it.
There we go.
Having it as social prescribing, so that even if people do require medication to manage their mental health or whatever, this can be something that can go alongside that, and hopefully in the long run, instead of that, or do you know what I mean, and can be a useful kind of tool to help support people's mental health. So I hope that when we get back, we can continue to grow not only the Friday sessions, but then there's that opportunity for people who enjoy those to get into the competitive element of the game as well, and enjoy playing different places and meeting new people, wearing bizarre strips. So, yeah, well, unless anyone's got anything else that they really need to add.
Can I just thank Candy and Daz during this lockdown? This quiz that we briefly mentioned earlier, some of our guys have been locked on a unit, not been able to leave this unit. It's been a very stressful time for them. We've done what we can on the ward, but obviously they're seeing the same faces day in, day out. And just something as simple as a quiz on a Zoom on a Friday night has really, really G'd some of these guys up. Just to see some different faces that they've not seen in months it's been now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Daz. Thank you, Andy. It's really well run.
No problem.
It's something so simple and it makes such a difference to our guys.
Brilliant. Yeah, that Andy. He says it's simple. You have to make questions a bit harder.
Some questions are a bit too difficult. I do get told. It don't go unnoticed.
I did a football quiz at one of the social cafe events, and I think it was Malcolm. And I'm sure he had his Google on phone because he knew every answer.
Oh, you should have seen him last week when he got the exact population at Vatican City.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
About that. There is some banter flies about at the quiz as well. And the vast differences between the people that's on there. You've got kids with Down syndrome who are just there for the social aspect. You know, they're not doing the quiz, they're just there listening to you banter and loving it. You know, and then we've got the competitive side of it, like Adam's writing down his face. He's Alex a winner. There's a competitive side to it, then there's the banter side as well, which is very good, you know.
I think that's why I've been made the host of it, I think, innit, Does, because I can turn a blind eye to it.
Oh yeah, 'cause he got one eye. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it sounds brilliant. Amongst everything else that we've spoke about, which is equally as brilliant. So I'd like to thank Darren, Adam, and Andrew for the time. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. I've enjoyed speaking to you, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
If you've enjoyed the
Thanks for having
podcast,
us.
check out the Titans on their website. We'll post it in the description. Give us a like, and why not pop down if it sounds appealing and try out one of the sessions. So thanks everyone, and goodbye.
See
Cheers,
ya.
guys. Nice to see you all.